In the bustling city of Ur, a land rich in culture and heritage, lived a man named Abram. Abram was no ordinary man. His life was a tapestry woven with threads of faith, obedience, and divine promises. His lineage could be traced back to Shem, the son of Noah, a testament to a legacy of righteousness amidst a world that had grown increasingly corrupt. Abram was married to Sarai, a woman of great beauty and grace. Though their lives bore a sorrowful secret, they were childless. This couple lived in a time when children were not just a source of joy, but a mark of prosperity and legacy. Yet, despite their lack, Abram lived a life of integrity and worship. Unknown to him, his faith and obedience would soon set him apart for a purpose far greater than he could imagine. One ordinary day, the extraordinary happened. The voice of the Lord came to Abram, instructing him to leave his land, his family, and his father's household, to journey into a land that God would show him. The command was stark, abrupt, and without detailed explanation. Yet it was accompanied by a promise.
I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse, and all peoples on earth will be blessed through you.
This was no small promise. For a man advanced in age, with no child to call his own, the notion of becoming a great nation must have seemed impossible. Yet Abram believed. He obeyed without question, gathering his possessions, his servants, and his nephew Lot, and setting out on a journey to a land he had never seen. Abram's journey led him to Canaan, a sprawling land of hills and valleys, flowing with streams and bursting with life. Here, the Lord appeared to him once more, reaffirming the promise.
To your offspring, I will give this land.
In faith, Abram built an altar to the Lord, establishing a place of worship in this foreign land. However, his journey through Canaan was not without challenges. A severe famine struck the region, forcing Abram and his household to seek refuge in Egypt. Abram's faith was tested during this time. Fearing for his life because of Sarai's beauty, he asked her to pose as his sister, a decision that led to complications with Pharaoh. Yet, even in Abram's moment of weakness, God's hand of protection was evident. Pharaoh discovered the truth and sent Abram away, ensuring he left Egypt not only unharmed, but also enriched. As Abram and Lot returned to Canaan, their herds and flocks had grown so vast that the land could no longer sustain them together. Disputes arose between their herders, and Abram, valuing peace, proposed a solution.
Let's not have any quarreling between you and me, or between your herders and mine, for we are close relatives. Is not the whole land before you? Let's part company. If you go to the left, I'll go to the right. If you go to the right, I'll go to the left.
Lot chose the fertile plains of the Jordan, settling near the city of Sodom, while Abram remained in Canaan. After Lot departed, God spoke to Abram again, expanding the scope of his promise.
Look around from where you are. All the land that you see I will give to you and your offspring forever. I will make your offspring like the dust of the earth, so that if anyone could count the dust, then your offspring could be counted.
Abram moved to Hebron, where he built another altar, solidifying his commitment to worship and trust in the Lord. Years passed, and Abram grew older. Despite God's promises, he and Sarai remained childless. Abram began to wonder how God's plan would unfold. Could his servant, Eliezer, be his heir? But God reassured Abram with a profound declaration.
This man will not be your heir, but a son who is your own flesh and blood will be your heir. Look up at the sky and count the stars, if indeed you can count them. So shall your offspring be.
This moment was pivotal. Abram believed the Lord, and it was credited to him as righteousness. This marked the essence of Abram's legacy, faith. He trusted in God's promises, even when circumstances seemed impossible. To solidify this promise, God made a covenant with Abram. In a solemn ceremony, God passed between pieces of sacrificial animals, symbolizing his unbreakable commitment. It was a profound moment, marking Abram as the recipient of a divine promise that would shape the future of nations. Despite Abram's faith, human impatience threatened to derail the divine plan. Sarai, feeling the weight of her barrenness, proposed a solution. Abram should have a child with her maidservant, Hagar. Abram agreed, and Hagar conceived, giving birth to a son named Ishmael. But this decision brought strife. Sarai grew jealous of Hagar, leading to tension and discord within the household. Despite these human flaws, God did not abandon Abram. He reassured him that his promise would be fulfilled through a son born to Sarai. When Abram was 99 years old, God appeared to him again, reiterating his covenant. But this time, the interaction came with a significant change. God renamed Abram to Abraham, meaning father of many nations, and Sarai became Sarah, meaning princess. As a sign of the covenant, God introduced the practice of circumcision, marking Abraham and his descendants as set apart for his purposes. Furthermore, God revealed that Sarah would bear a son, and they were to name him Isaac, meaning he laughs, reflecting Abraham's awe and joy at the promise. One day, 3 visitors came to Abraham's tent. He showed them great hospitality, unaware that they were messengers of the Lord. As they ate, one of them announced that Sarah would have a son within a year. Sarah, overhearing the conversation, laughed in disbelief, for she was well past childbearing age. But the Lord responded, "Is anything too hard for the Lord?" True to the promise, Sarah conceived and bore a son, Isaac. The birth of Isaac was the fulfillment of years of waiting and faith. Abraham and Sarah's joy was immeasurable as they saw firsthand the faithfulness of God. Abraham's faith reached its zenith in one of the most profound moments in biblical history. God commanded him to sacrifice Isaac, the son of promise. It was an incomprehensible request, yet Abraham obeyed without hesitation. Early the next morning, he set out for Mount Moriah with Isaac and 2 servants. As they climbed the mountain, Isaac, unaware of what lay ahead, asked,
"The fire and wood are here, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering?"
Abraham replied with unwavering faith,
God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son.
At the altar, as Abraham raised the knife to sacrifice his son, the angel of the Lord intervened, stopping him. A ram was provided as a substitute, and Abraham named the place, "The Lord will provide." This act of obedience solidified Abraham's legacy as the father of faith, demonstrating his trust in God even when the cost seemed unbearable. Abraham lived a long and fulfilled life, seeing God's promises unfold in ways he could not have imagined. He became the father of Isaac, the grandfather of Jacob, and the patriarch of a lineage that would lead to the Messiah. Through Abraham, all nations on earth were indeed blessed. His story is not merely one of obedience, but of a relationship with God, built on trust, worship, and covenant. Abraham's life reminds us that faith is not the absence of doubt or struggle, but the steadfast belief that God's promises are true, even when the path is unclear. And so the legacy of Abraham, the father of faith, endures, a beacon of hope and trust for all generations.